Sairam students, and welcome back in this session. Today we'll be doing lesson 10 of our moments, that is The Beggar, written by Anton Chekhov. Okay, before we continue, we will first learn something about the author. Anton Pavlovich Chekhov was a Russian playwright and short story writer who is considered to be among the greatest writers of short fiction in history. Chekhov is often referred to as one of the three seminal figures in the birth of early modernism in theatre. So he was one of the person who brought modern thinking into theatre. Chekhov practiced as a medical doctor throughout most of his literary career. So he was a medical practitioner and also a famous writer. His works include The Chameleon, The Bet, Gooseberries, The Wife and Other Stories, The Lady with the Dog. These are some of his famous works, some of his famous books. He was honored with the Pushkin Prize in the year 1888. Okay, this is about the author. Now let's understand what this particular story, The Beggar, is about. The story revolves around the theme of kindness and compassion. It also highlights the human nature of being judgmental and labeling people, while highlighting the ability of a person to change with the right motivation. So we generally blindly label people, become judgmental, and in the story we are able to understand how a person can be changed if given the right kind of motivation, the right kind of guidance. It is a story about a beggar, Lashkov. He is offered a job so that he quits begging. However, he is unwilling to work. So, it's about this particular beggar who doesn't want to work hard, but however, he is offered a job by a person, and in the process, he quits begging. However, he is still hesitant to work, not willing to work. Due to certain circumstances that arise, he stops begging and takes up a good job. After a few years, he discloses the secret of his success to the person who had offered him a job first. So, there were circumstances that arose which helped him to stop begging totally, and he took up a good job. His entire life changed. And when he meets the person who actually helped him first, who offered him the job first, he discloses all his secrets about whatever he has achieved, the success he has gained, and who was responsible for this particular success. So now let's see who are the main characters in this particular story. First we have is Lashkov. He is a beggar. He does not want to do any work and tells lies so that people feel pity for him and give him alms. So he wants a very easy life, easy kind of work which he doesn't have to physically do anything, but he's earning some money. So people feel sorry for him. He speaks lies and they feel pity for him and they give him alms. However, at the end, he is a changed person. We will learn about him. Then we have is Sergi. He is an advocate. He meets Lashkov and gives him work at his house. He feels he has changed Lashkov. So he is a person who gave him work, felt sorry for him and offered him work. And the third character here is Olga. She is a cook who works at Sergi's house. She feels pity on the condition of Lashkov and helps him unconditionally. She changes his life. So she is a person who changes Lashkov's life. Let's learn in the lesson how this is happening. What is the story about? So let's begin. What induced the beggar Lashkov to change his ways? Let's read and find out. Kind sir, have pity. Turn your attention to a poor, hungry man. For 3 days I have had nothing to eat. I haven't 5 kopecks for a lodging. I swear it before God. There's this person who is speaking these words, says that he's not had anything to eat since 3 days, doesn't have even 5 kopecks. Kopecks is a currency, a Russian currency, ruble. Okay, he doesn't have anything to eat. He's very poor, he's hungry, and he's swearing it on God. For 8 years, I was a village school teacher, and then I lost my place through intrigues. I fell a victim to calumny. It is a year now since I have had anything to do. So he also is mentioning that he was a school teacher in a village for almost 8 years, but lost his place in that particular school through intrigues. Means lot of people backbiting him, backbitching him, talking ill about him. So he lost his job because of that, and he fell a victim to calumny, that is false allegations. It is now almost a year since he had nothing to do. The advocate Sergi looked at the ragged, fawn-colored overcoat of the suppliant, at his dull, drunken eyes, at the red spot on either cheek, and it seemed to him as if he had seen this man somewhere before. So this advocate Sergi looked at this particular person, okay, who was totally ragged in torn clothes and had very dirty dust colored overcoat of the suppliant. Suppliant means the person who is actually asking for help. At his dull, drunken eyes, it also seemed that he was totally drunk. His eyes were dull and drunken. There were red spots on either cheek, and also this advocate Sergi felt that this person was very familiar to him. He had seen this man somewhere before. I have now had an offer of a position in the province of Kaluga, the mendicant went on, but I haven't the money to get there. Help me kindly. I am ashamed to ask, but I am obliged to by circumstances. So now this beggar is continuing what he's intending to say. He says that he has got a position in the region of Kaluga, the mendicant. Mendicant means the beggar, and said that but he doesn't have any money to get there. So he is asking for help. He says he is really ashamed to do so, but the circumstances are such that he is desperate to go there and he wants the money from the people. Sergi's eyes fell on the man's overshoes, one of which was high and the other low. And he suddenly remembered something. So his eyes fell on the shoes of this particular beggar, and suddenly he remembered something. What was that? Look here, it seems to me I met you the day before yesterday in Sadovia Street, he said. But you told me then that you were a student who had been expelled and not a village school teacher. Do you remember? So what Suddenly, Sergi remembered that he had met this person maybe 2 days back, okay, at Sadovia Street, and at that time he told that he was a student who had been expelled, who had been removed from school, and he did not mention about the village teacher. Okay, so do you remember? He's asking the beggar whether he remembers that. No, that can't be so, mumbled the beggar, taken aback. I am a village school teacher, and if you like, I can show you my papers. So he was a little hesitant now to speak, but mumbled, he murmured, saying that no, no, I am a village school teacher, and he had some proof, some papers which he could show and prove that he was a school teacher. Have done with lying. You called yourself a student and even told me what you had been expelled for. Don't you remember? Now Sergi cross questioned in saying that you are lying now. You called yourself a student and even told the reason why he had been removed from school. Sergi flushed and turned from the ragged creature with an expression of disgust. So he was so angered, he was so irritated by this person speaking all kinds of lies. He showed an expression of disgust. A disgust means feeling of dislike for the person in front of him. This is dishonesty, my dear sir, he cried angrily. This is swindling. I shall send the police for you, damn you. So he also was very angered. Sergi said that it is total dishonesty. Said that he was cheating everyone. Swindling means cheating everyone, and he would call for the police. Sir, he said, laying his hand on his heart, the fact is, I was lying. I am neither a student nor a school teacher. All that was fiction. Formerly, I sang in a Russian choir and was sent away for drunkenness. So now, this particular beggar agreed, saying, keeping his hand on his heart, said that he was truly lying. He was neither a student nor a village school teacher. All that was false and unreal. He also disclosed that he was singing for the Russian choir, a group that sings in churches, and was sent away from that choir because he was drinking. He was prone to drinking. But what else can I do? I can't get along without lying. No one will give me anything when I tell the truth. What can I do? So he also told that he just cannot stop lying, because if he does not lie and put up a story, people would not listen to him. They would not listen to his truth. So he was bent, he was addicted to lying to people. What can you do? You ask what you can do, cried Sergi, coming close to him. Work. That's what you can do. You must work. So he said, instead of asking what he could do, he needs to work. That is what he needs to do to earn a living. So he must work. Work? Yes, I know that myself. But where can I find work? How would you like to chop wood for me? So here the beggar said that he would not be able to find work anywhere. Does he do so? So here Sergi asks him whether he would like to chop wood for him. I wouldn't refuse to do that, but in these days, even skilled woodcutters find themselves sitting without bread. So, here the beggar again is putting up his views, stating that even skilled woodcutters are not having any work these days. So, how will I get some work? Will you come and chop wood for me? So now Sergi asks him whether he would come and chop wood for him. personally. Yes, sir, I will. So he readily agreed, saying that he would surely come and chop wood for him. Very well, we will soon find out. Sergi hastened along, rubbing his hands. He called his cook out of the kitchen. So now they agreed and they went along to his house. Now Sergi went in and called his cook out of the kitchen. Here, Olga, he said, take this gentleman into the woodshed and let him chop wood. So he instructed Olga, his cook, to take this person and ask him to chop some wood for them. The scarecrow of a beggar shrugged his shoulders as if in perplexity and went irresolutely after the cook. Now, as such, the beggar is not used to doing any kind of work, so he just shrugged his shoulders and, in total confusion, perplexity, went after the cook without any kind of interest. He went after the cook who was to show him how to chop the wood. Okay, so now students, go through the lesson till where we have done. We will continue what happens after this. What does the beggar do? How he is helped? We will learn it in the next class. Now you will get a link where you have to answer the questions provided there and submit the same in that particular link. Thank you.